What do you do if you feel like you've been discriminated or retaliated against at work after reporting or filing a work-related injury? Hello, I'm Ruben Espinoza. I'm a workers' compensation attorney representing claimants throughout Southern California, and today I'll be discussing what you should do in the event that you believe you've been discriminated or retaliated against on the job after filing your workers' compensation case. First, let's talk about what is discrimination on the job. In essence, we're talking about being treated differently because you've reported an injury or because you've filed a claim. This can take many forms. The most obvious would be a termination following your report or your claim being made. But that's not the only thing. There are other examples, for instance, a demotion in position, a reduction in pay, or less favorable schedule that would also qualify as discrimination. Essentially, anything that can be construed as an adverse action taken against you following or after your employer has knowledge that you suffered a work injury or that you've reported your claim. So if you believe that you've been retaliated or discriminated against on the job following your report of your work injury, there are some things that you should know. The first thing is that may entitle you to add a claim to your workers' compensation case under Labor Code Section 132A. That law says that it is illegal for an employer to discriminate or retaliate against you for coming forward with a work injury claim. If that's proven, the employer may even be liable for a criminal misdemeanor in that situation. In addition to that, the employee is eligible to claim additional benefits or damages in that situation. Number one, the injured worker is entitled to up to $10,000 in penalties assessed against the employer. Number two, the employee would be eligible for wage loss. Anything that contributed to a reduction in pay because of that discrimination could be claimed as damages. And the third thing is reinstatement. If, for instance, the injured worker was demoted to a different position or just outright fired, the 132A claim gives the judge the ability to order that the company reinstate you to your position. The second thing that's important to note there is that these claims are filed directly against the employer because most workers' compensation insurance carriers don't insure for that kind of situation. So any damages that are paid out in the 132A claim are paid out by the employer directly. That and other things related to a 132A claim make the claim look a lot more like an employment law claim, even though it's litigated in the workers' compensation venue. And precisely because of those reasons, the third main thing that I want you to understand is that these claims may also allow the injured worker to file a civil employment law claim in addition to any workers' compensation cases and petitions that you can file in civil court. For instance, for disability discrimination. That would be a separate claim, a civil claim, again, filed directly against the employer. So what to do if you believe you've been discriminated or retaliated against? The first thing is make sure that you save as much information as you can regarding the circumstances of that action. So here we're talking about anything related to the what, where, when, information related to that action that led to the discrimination or retaliation. For instance, witness statements, any communications that you've had with the employer or your supervisor related to that action. Save that information, make sure you let your attorney know. The second thing is obviously make sure you let the attorney know as soon as possible because a 132A claim has a statute of limitations of 1 year. Essentially that means that unless you file that action within a year of that discriminatory action, then you may be barred from bringing that forward later on. So make sure you let your attorney know as soon as possible if you believe you've been discriminated or retaliated against following the report of your work-related injury. Friends, if you found this information useful, make sure you like the video and subscribe to our channel as we put out additional videos regarding useful information for workers' compensation claimants. Once again, my name is Ruben Espinoza, workers' compensation attorney. Happy to discuss your case with you free of charge. If so, please contact us 213-228-3232 or find us online. Thank you, friends.